Okay, this is video 3. The other videos, this is just going to be I'm going to upload these videos that I'm making today with the Sony blog to see if there's any interest in this. And if there is, the other videos that I shoot, I'm going to upload those so you can see. Where we're at now on building this frame is bending the rear loop out of cold drawn DOM 120 wall tubing. The important thing is to get this is computerized, it's not hand bender. So if you're doing a hand bender, it's basically going to be the same thing. You want to make sure your bender is on a solid surface. It doesn't rock back and forth. And you want to have a gauge on it to get your zero on the twist of the tube, so that when you take it out and put it back in, you can zero it and get your second bend in the same spot. Once you have that accomplished and you have your mark for the right length, you just, on this machine, you just step on the foot switch on the floor. On other machines you might have to hand crank it or push a button, or there's a lot of different machines out there. So this one, we're just going to step on the switch and the die will carry on around and put a bend in it. This bender is an Inenco, and it's I-N-E-C-O, Inenco. Alright, so I've got my bend. I'm going to loosen up the die. And before I take it out, I'm going to take this off and put it back inside this box for now, because that's not a cheap one. And I did drop one time and had to buy a second one, so that sucked. So there's how you put the bend in. I'll pull it out here so you can see it. There's bend number 1. We're going to put another bend here, and then we'll make a one for the top, and then we'll install them into the jig, and the rear end section of the bike will be done for all intents and purposes. So check back for other videos on and I'll edit this together. We'll put the second bend in too. Alright, I'm ready to do the second bend. I'm resetting the die. I'm going to insert the tubing, and I have a mark here that I'll line up in the die. And I'm going to put the follower on it, snug it down. Then we're going to get our gauge back out. And we're going to put it on 90. Stay on light. That's 90. Alright, we'll make sure it's snug. And then we'll just step on the switch again. And while it's bending, I'll remove this stuff. And again, if you get one of these nice ones, make a habit of putting it back in its case with your Allen wrench and your thing, because it's a hassle looking for those things later. Okay, so I did a measurement of 40 inches because I haven't bent one of these before. And you can see, you might be able to see, let me see. Let's see in the video. Okay, you can't see. The second end is a little bit longer than the other one, which is fine. It's better than it being shorter. But now I can figure out how long that is. And on the second tube that I cut, I'll subtract. I think maybe it's an inch. I did 40 inches, I could have done 39. So that's pretty good. That's really good actually. Because I almost did 42 to be safe, and that would have been 3 extra inches of wasted tubing. So Now we'll go to the jig and see if it fits correctly. Okay, we've got the loop bent. And now we're going to see if we've got it bent. We've checked the squareness of it to make sure it's 90, because some tubes, depending on the manufacturer, have different spring back rates. So you have to know that. And after you figure that out, you can bend the tube pretty accurate. But if it's a degree off or 3 degrees, the length of the tube will exaggerate that degree to 3 or 4 degrees. So you check it with a square is the tried and true fashion to. So I'm going to snug this up. It doesn't move. And I'm just going to check to make sure the tube itself is centered with the rear pieces, so when I put the slot in it, it'll slide on like a puzzle. And I'm going to look and make sure that it's the right width, and I'm going to make sure that it's touching in the same spot, because these two were made together, so that top corner is the same on both of them. So if all that is good, which it is, we're good to go. You can see this one's a little bit longer by about 1 inch. So the next one I cut will be 39 inches long. Well, it may not, because I need to check it with the top here. So while I have it, everything looks good. You have to take into consideration, I don't get too many calls for narrow frames anymore, unless it's really narrow. I'll set that there. And yeah, 39 inches when actuality this is going to be up a little higher, probably about like that. Maybe a little bit more, because I want it to run with this. But if we want this tube to come to about here, we've got plenty of room. We could actually shave probably 1.5 inches off this side and 1/2 inch off this side, so we could probably take 2 inches off. Alright, rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment if you want to see more as this frame comes together, and to see other things. Maybe if there's enough interest in this type of thing on YouTube, I will show some of the parts actually being machined out on the lathes and the mills, and the other machines working, like, you know, that you saw the bender and everything. So everyone take care. Hope you enjoyed, and take care.